When you're born, usually you're born into a dynasty or an empire, right? You're born like as a junior or, you know, following in your father's footsteps. You always tell your father, he did this, or your father, or your grandfather, he did this, or we got this, or the family heirlooms. There's none of that in the outer city. I call it the outer city because we left out. It's nothing. We don't get any family heirloom, the family crest, all that stuff that you would think is so important was meaningless. Because I mean, come on. Our family crest was cotton. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, it's like the only thing we can really leave behind is culture, is music, you know, and dignity and determination. That's what we had. So it's like, I feel as though I'm cheated because instead of me fulfilling my prophecy, I have to start one. Instead of me, you know, doing a good job and carrying on the empire, I have to build one. And that's a hell of a job for a 21-year-old. You know what I'm saying? That's a hell of a job for any youngster, male or female, to have to build an empire for your family.
Went down to the river Jordan, where John baptized 3. When I walked the devil in hell, says Johnny baptized me. I say, roll, Jordan, roll. Oh, now roll, Jordan, roll. My soul arise in heaven, Lord, for the year Jordan roll. Well, some say John was a Baptist. Some say John was a Jew. But I say John was a preacher, cause my Bible says so too. I say roll.
Hey! You, where are you going?
Me have passed, Massa. Me and the picnic. We are going Unity Pen.
Oh, look at the little one. Isn't she pretty? John, what's her name?
Tell your mistress the name of your child.
July, Massa. July, Massa. July, Massa.
I likes you, Missy Ann. You my best friend, always was, but what? There seems just so much happening all of a sudden.
Hey, it's wonderful, all of it. You'll come here to live, Kizzy. Here with me.
Never lived no place but masses.
Oh, yeah.
Never lived no place but masses.
Oh, yeah.
Never lived no place but masses.
Oh, yeah.
You can't make this stuff up. And this is the book of Nehemiah, chapter 13 and verse 15. It says, in those days saw I in Judah. Judah. We know who Judah is today, the so-called Negroes. In those days saw I in Judah some trading wine presses on the Sabbath, and bringing in sheaves and ladding asses, also wine, grapes, and figs, and all manner of burdens, put emphasis on that, burdens, which they brought into Jerusalem, southern kingdom, on the Sabbath day. And I testify against them in the day wherein they sold victuals. Now, what are we looking at? When I said you can't make this stuff up, Nehemiah chapter 13, 15 is talking about the actions of Judah and their folly in selling and working and doing all manners of wickedness during the Sabbath days. All right, we know this is Judah because the Bible says, and he says, and the Bible says, in those days saw I in Judah, dealing with the southern kingdom. Why am I even mentioning this? And why am I mentioning burdens? Jerusalem. Okay? So we're going to show you why I'm mentioning this. We're going to show you why I'm mentioning this. Alright? It's because if you look at this number, this is the Hebrew concordance. And it is 4253. Okay? Check this out. Alright, so 4853. Right? So we seen on Nehemiah 13:15, it says burdens. And it led us to this. 4853. Now let's see what 4853 is when it says burdens. You see that Hebrew word? Does this Hebrew word look familiar to you? Have you ever heard this Hebrew word? Well, let me pronounce it for you. Massa. Massa. M-A-S-S-A. Massa. What does massa mean? Burden. Massa means burden one. Tribute. Right? I wonder why. I wonder who was saying this. Who was saying, oh, you burden ones. Let's investigate.
We're looking at this old dictionary. It's called the 20th Century Dictionary. Right, you see, has two worlds. What does that mean? No clue. Salaki. It's about as old as 1939. So look at this as a Webster's Dictionary, 20th century. And look who's in the front of the dictionary. All right, we see the different maps.
And guess on this map who they have when they talk about these worlds. Dun dun dun. American Vespucci. Look at that, man. The Italian. Alright, so this is a very old dictionary, man.
Rise. I looked at the eyes. It was black. So that literally shows you that they just added their opinions. But look at this. Alright, it says one of the people characterized by a black skin, woolly hair. So the word Negro is identified as black people with woolly hair.
This is First African Baptist Church, the oldest black church in North America. The building built by slaves. The gentleman that laid the first brick laid the last. The balcony hold pews that actually were built by slaves. They have the oldest information in this building. That information is written in cursive Hebrew writing. That information is written in cursive Hebrew writing. Information in this building. That information is written in cursive Hebrew writing. That information is written in cursive Hebrew writing.
Let me tell you a secret. I'm obsessed. Shh. Let me show you.
watching Israeli News Live, and this morning, guys, we saw an incredible story on Breaking Israel News, and that is that they have discovered the oldest 10 Commandments written in Paleo Hebrew on a stone, a huge, I think it's an 80-ton stone, if I'm not mistaken, on the size of that, found in New Mexico, of all places. Now, Paleo Hebrew, guys, has been out of use for some maybe 500 years before the modern era, the coming of Christ. And so for a Paleo stone, a stone to be found with Paleo, the 10 Commandments of the Paleo Hebrew to be found inside of New Mexico lets us know that there is a lot of truth that, yes, indeed, there is a relationship between the Native Americans and the House of Israel in exile. So I just think it's fascinating. I know that there was a lot of belief that there are DNA references to, or not DNA, but so much as, I think a small DNA portion of the Jewish people related to the Cherokee Indians, but also there's been other artifacts found among the Cherokee Indians. So now in New Mexico, so we can see the house of Israel has certainly been scattered to the four winds of the earth as the prophecy was stated. I'm Stephen Ben-Nun with Israeli News Live, Boker Tov from Jerusalem.
In 1860, David Wyrick, he's a guy who surveyed the Newark earthworks. He was digging into a mound near those earthworks and he found a wooden coffin made of oak. They opened up the coffin and found a skeleton of a man holding a little box. It was about 8.10 inches in size. The box had been cemented shut here. This, by the way, is sitting in Ohio. Well, he opened up the box and he found a little man inside, a little black stone. They took it to scholars and they looked at it. The man seems to be carrying something, and there's writing here at first they couldn't recognize. The writing is, they thought in 1860, some sort of Hebrew. Well, finally, about 20 years later, they found some rabbis living in the area, and the rabbis looked at that and they could read it. They said it was an old kind of block Hebrew, and it was a rendition of the 10 Commandments. Now, this is another piece. Block Hebrew, they said they'd never seen anything like it. Mainstream archaeologists at the time called this a hoax. But then in 1900, or just about after 1900, in Israel, they found the same block-style Hebrew writing. Mainstream archaeologists still dismiss the findings. They found it in Israel and they found it in Ohio. But there was another stone that they found that they couldn't argue. This is the Bat Creek stone. It was found during the course of an official Smithsonian evacuation. The Smithsonian didn't understand the meaning of the writing on the stone. They thought it was Cherokee since it came from Cherokee country. They didn't realize that it's actually Hebrew. They had published this originally upside down. They threw it in a box at the bottom of the Smithsonian, put it in the basement. Many years later, a scholar took it out of the box, looked at it, and went, oh my gosh, it's upside down. It's Phoenician, ancient Hebrew. So what's going on here? What is that about? Where is that history? I'll show you in a few minutes, and we're going to have a conversation, and I'm going to show you some more things that the Smithsonian, science, government, commerce colluded to erase. By the way, I want to thank the directors of the documentary Lost Civilizations of North America for bringing these stories to my attention. I was blown away to find more.
Every tribal nation, but we found similarities in our linguistics. We have Hebrew words in our language, celebrations of new moon festivals.
My people have many things in common as far as the traditions and sacred things concerning, for example, there was a celebration of new moon. There was a 7th day of rest. We didn't eat swine. There were cities of refuge. We celebrated 7 sacred feasts during the year. And so there were many commonalities that we found seemed very similar. And this is chronicled in by a man in the 1700s named James Adair. You can read about it in a book called Out of the Flame.
He was one of many, and there was a man by the name of Rabbi Manasseh ben Israel back in about 200-300 years ago, who also believed that there was a connection between the scattering of the tribes and the First Nations people.
So the theory would be that when the 10 lost tribes were scattered, some of them ended up coming to America. Is that the idea?
It's a possibility.
It's a possibility. Like I said, there's so many things in the traditions, the customs, the spirituality that just go beyond coincidence.
For example, my people's traditional name, the Cherokee's traditional name for ourselves is Anikatuaya, which means the principal people of Yah.
And the Cheyenne tribe in the Americas called themselves Tsitsitsa, which means people of the fringes.
Really?
You know, and their cousin tribes, the Shoshone, whose symbol is a rose, we find Shoshana, which is a rose.
Hey, look, man, all you gotta do is follow the breadcrumbs. All you gotta do is trace the evidence, because the evidence demands the verdict. Look at this. They got a town in Mexico called Issachar. You can't make this stuff up, man. Hey, the evidence demands a verdict.
And the argument is always, well, you know, the white people brought us Christianity. It is not, well, they brought it later. But we as Native Americans and my people as the Dene people, they walked and talked with Christ long before the pilgrims came. They knew him, and he walked around among them. When you think about the drawing that these men had, and then think about what my grandfather and the 12 men spoke about, and they, you know, my grandfather said that they built a ship and they came across the great waters, and it was tumultuous, and they came here to this land. They were in the east, and there was millions eventually of millions and millions of Native Americans that were, you know, that were just covered this land.
Nigeria is just a name that the British threw onto the amalgamation of a bunch of different tribes there that destabilized the region and led to a genocide and a Holocaust of the Igbo people. Where in the 1960s, millions of them were systematically killed and murdered.
Yeah, he told me about that too, but I was running late. So
it's like, so this is so relevant because we have such a never again Holocaust theme, but these people had it. But what is mind-boggling to me, which I can't imagine why this is not in the news and not spoken about, is that a large chunk, more than a fourth of the transatlantic slave trade came specifically from this one tribe. So how are we not starting to connect dots and being like, wait a minute, so the tribe in Africa that the government of Israel is fascinated with and enamored by is now the blood of those people flowing through the African American community here, which makes sense to me why they're all being like, we have an Israelite affinity, we're identifying, this is us, we are this. And so I'm like, so yeah, if the DNA of the blood of these people are in them, they have a valid claim to feel and say that.
I don't want this. I need this.
Hogu badagri sawafela S'éveiller, yo mettez veiller Hogu badagri sawafela Gade s'éveiller, yo mettez veiller Pap dormi, ferain, pap dormi Déjà garçon la game passe à dormir, oh, pas Se non la gente yo metem veye. Ogu badagri sawafela.
The Haitian Revolution was a series of violent uprising of slaves in Hispaniola, which ended French colonial rule. At first, the rebels wanted to be freed from slavery, and not total independence from France. The revolution quickly snowballed, soon with over 100,000 participants. Hundreds of plantations were burnt to the ground. The revolution took over 12 years, and the revolution took over 12 years, and the revolution took over 12 years.
Dominican Republic is nowhere near Haiti's revolutionary, I could say, signature in history.
Right.
The Haitians have always been at the forefront since their revolution in 1804, which was the first independent nation of Latin America. It was Haiti that gave Bolivar the guns and boats and printing presses and soldiers to wage his war. And that's why Hugo Chavez said we owe a debt to the Haitian people for what they've done in the past. So our solidarity today is in tribute or in honor of the solidarity they gave us 200 years ago.
If the God of the Bible is not true, then what is this? What is this, man? All right, this to all you naysayers out here that say the Levites ain't the Haitian people. All right, the Jamaicans ain't the Benjamites. Let's bring some information out, man. Let's bring some historical evidence and stop talking. All right, so let's look at this, man. Look at this. All right, this is the book called The Negro Question, right? This is a Hebrew scholar, man. Lee Cummings. All right, and it's called Negro Question. Right, and this is literally the map of West Africa before it got colonized and post-colonization. Right, as you can see, this is during colonization and this before colonization. Right? They both at the same time. But look at this. Slave Coast. But what do you see right here on this West African map? Judah. The kingdom of Judah. All right? So, man, let's put some artifacts out, man. This is a old picture, man. This is an old picture. Right? They have this in the French Museum. You can find this in the French Museum. And what does it say up here? Spain continues, right? What does it say right here? To the Caribbean, hold on. To the Caribbean islands. To the Caribbean islands. Right? Now we know the colonizer back in the 1800s, they always rocked that mailman hat you see a lot of brothers with today. A lot of mailmans, they have this specific hat. Well, that was the colonizer's hat. All right. Now you see the slaves. These are already slaves right here. So that's why they already at work. Shipping this boat. Colonizers on the side as they go across the lakes. Now look, hey, they taking this man into Hades, man. They are taking this man into hell. Right? Hades. Now, what is so significant about this person in the middle, tied up and waiting to go into bondage? Well, let's dig in a little closer, man. Let's dig in a little closer, man. You see that on that man's chest? Do y'all see what's on this man's chest? Huh? This is a Urim and a Thummim. The only people, tribe, who ever had a Urim and a Thummim on their chest was a high priest from the Levitical tribe. This is a Levitical priest. Let me prove it some more. Ashanti. Alright? Ashanti. What is Ashanti? That was a tribe in West Africa. Hey, there's still a tribe in West Africa called Ashanti. Right? What is the Ashanti people? Hey, they was forced on ships and sent to Hades, and they are the Levite priests. Dun dun dun. Alright, now you can find this in the French Museum, but you can also look it up on Google. Hey man, let the truth expose the lie. Shalom.
Okay, let me help dummies who don't know how to collect right information, who believe in the European media, mainstream media garbage about what's going on in Haiti. If you don't know what's going on in Haiti, just be quiet, man. Just find your Haitian to ask what's really going on, because y'all just stupid with it. I don't know what y'all talking about. I'm acting crazy, talking a bunch of foolishness. I just saw this lady. She's supposed to be a prophet, a prophetess, they call them. I don't know. She's talking about a bunch of foolishness, dog. Let me tell y'all what's going on in Haiti. You don't know anything about Haiti, so just be quiet and listen. There's a puppet prime minister put there by the United States who keeps this guy in power. His time is up. His time is up. So he's supposed to be gone out of there. He's not supposed to be there no more. His time is finished. But the United States, Canada, and France, they say he's gonna stay when his time is up. That is illegal. If your time is up, you can't stay. So Haitians are furious at that, because how you gonna keep the United States always talking about democracy. You trying to keep somebody whose time is up. So you trying to keep somebody who they have an idea might have something to do with the president's assassination. You trying to keep him in power while his time is up, because you know why? They want to keep him in power so he could sign up the gold, the uranium, the oil, the silver. That's what they keep him in power for. So Haitian people are furious with this guy. We want him out of there. We want him out of there. There's this revolutionary man called Barbecue. All that foolishness talking about a gang leader, the mainstream media garbage talking about. This man is a revolutionary man. He doesn't hurt people. He doesn't kill people. He doesn't go around and kill people. He helps people. He helps children. He feeds children. He helps mothers and poor people. That's what he do in his community. He's a revolutionary man. Okay? His name Barbecue. Second of all, I heard an idiot talking about his name is Barbecue because of some evil stuff. No, idiot. His name is Barbecue because when he was younger as a kid, his mother used to sell barbecue chicken. So he was always eating barbecue chicken. The kids in his area didn't know his name, so they used to call him the Barbecue Kid. So that's where the name stuck from. That's why the name stuck from that. It wasn't no malicious whatever garbage y'all just came up with. Yo, you Europeans are terrible, man. Y'all the devil. Y'all just say anything. Y'all just say anything out in public. Don't know what you're talking about. Don't have a clue. You just spewing garbage. But there's a bunch of Negroes dumb and stupid enough to believe y'all who don't even know any better. But anyway, so now this man is illegal, kept in power by the United States. So the Haitians say, hell no, you're not going to come here talking all this democracy crap, and then you keeping somebody illegal in power, and he ain't doing nothing. Just so you can, he can sign you over all the riches you want. This man up there to sell out Haiti. The Haitians ain't having that. So the Barbecue gather his team and say, we gonna overthrow this guy. We gonna fight over this guy. If you ain't know anything about Haitians, you ain't know nothing about history. We are revolutionary people. We don't play that. We are fighters. And I know you dumb, stupid Negroes, you seeing little things on TV or whatever, whatnot on social media, you think there's crime and people dying. No, nobody's dying. Shut up. Because these guys are not after the population. They are after the government, that puppet government, that illegal government. They're not shooting people just because you see people running. It's just human nature. If they hear gunshots, they start running. They're not getting shot at. How many people you saw laying down on the ground dead already? Exactly. So shut up. And yes, it could be a collateral damage if two sides are going at each other. It's two sides going at each other. It could be collateral damage, but nobody's getting shot at. And the Haitian people, that's what we want. We want a revolution against his ass. He's not about to sell out Haiti and all our resources. You niggas, I know you dumbass Negroes in your little islands, you're not used to standing up and fighting like men for your rights, for what's right. your government or your little sold out prime minister do whatever he want with you in your country and sell you out in your country, and then you don't need to stand up and fight for nothing. We are not that type. Haitians are a different type of breed of black people. We fight. We are warriors. We stand up and fight for what's right. That's what we do. We will die for fighting for what's right.
She had her third son with her husband Jacob. She named him Levi, for she said, perhaps he will now become attached to me. It's Levi and Simeon who killed all the men in Shechem because of the rape of their sister Dinah. And when Jacob was dying and he was blessing or cursing his sons, he said Levi and Simeon have anger issues, and he cursed that they will be scattered in Israel.
We are not that type. Haitians are a different type of breed of black people. We fight. We are warriors. We stand up and fight for what's right. That's what we do. We will die for fighting for what's right.
He said Levi and Simeon have anger issues, and he cursed that they will be scattered in Israel. In the wilderness, when the people worshipped the golden calf, and Moses said, if you're on the Lord's side, come to me. It was all the Levites who went to the side of Moses, and they killed all the idolaters. And because of what they did, their zeal for the Lord in the wilderness, they became like the priests in Israel. So they were scattered in Israel. They had portions within all the tribes. So the curse did come true, but in a good way. And that's Levi.
Lift me up, hold me down, keep me close, safe and sound. Keep me safe, safe and sound. Lift me up, hold me down, keep me close, safe and sound.
Benjamin shall raven as a wolf. So it says Benjamin shall raven as a wolf. Now a wolf, when a wolf raven, before he attacks his prey, he rolls in a wolf pack and he shouts and raves before he attacks the prey. So that's the way the so-called Jamaicans and so forth roll. They say, boy, I mean, lick shot on you, boy. Before they attack you, they start giving up a lot of noise and let you know they're gonna make the attack, and showing that Benjamin is a warring tribe. For Benjamin, which is the Jamaicans, Trinidadians, Antiguans, and all speak in the chain of Island the Caribbean. That's the tribe of Benjamin. Right. Can I say this on that? Yeah. When you look up the word raven, it means communicate wild, like a wolf. That people get scared when Benjamin talks. Yeah. They think they want to fight, then they just asking for some coffee. That also goes into their music. Right. Whereas the American black is singing about love and all that. What's Benjamin singing about? Taking down the white man. Babylon shall fall. Okay. Upon Babylon. And when you go back in the reggae songs like with Peter Tosh and Bunny Williams, Steve Buzz, the reggae's back in the late 60s and the 70s was all about revolution against the system. Where the American blacks never sung about the revolution or destruction of the system, but the so-called Western sung those militant songs. By the Rivers of Babylon, the Judgment of Babylon, and all these different revolutionary songs pertaining to the judgment of the Great Whore. And a lot of Rastafarians, the main one that came up with the idea of teaching about Babylon and so forth. They know they're Israelites, but they go off into the Haile Selassie and Ethiopian doctrine. Let's read on. Yeah. It says, in the morning he shall devour the prey. So in the morning of our rulership, when the Most High raises us up, Benjamin is going to be vicious upon our enemies. Right. Read on. At night he shall divide the spoil. And at night he's going to rob the enemies of the spoil and take back what rightfully belongs to us. Right. The night meaning the night of the so-called white man. The end of your kingship. Right. Okay. So now, let's go to Deuteronomy 33 and verse 12. And of Benjamin he said, the beloved of the Lord.
Because Benjamin was the youngest son of Jacob, and he became the beloved. When they was down in Egypt, Joseph told his brother to send for Benjamin. And Jacob was, oh man, you going to send my youngest son now? So now I'm already going to die now. Read on.
Shall dwell in safety by him.
So Benjamin dwells in safety of the Most High, which is between the Caribbean islands, between North America and South America. That's the safety of the Most High. Read on.
And the Lord shall cover him all the day long, and he shall dwell between his shoulders.
And his shoulder represents the skies and the seas, the beautiful seas that's covering the the Caribbean islands.
Right. So now let's go back to Genesis 49 and verse 28.
Right.
All these are the 12 tribes of Israel.
So all these are the 12 tribes of Israel.
And this is it that they're
me Israelites. Get up in the morning, slaving for bread, sir, so that every mouth can be fed. Me Israelite. When my kids get up and leave me, darling, she said I was yours to be seen. Me Israelite. Shut them a tear up choices ago. I don't want to end up like Bonnie and Clyde. Me Israelite. After a song, there must be a calling. Touch me in the palm, your song.
Hi, shalom, shalom from Israel. This is Ola, the daughter of Jethro. And I just heard that you black people that was stolen from Africa to America, that you don't know who you are. But you are the children of Yahweh, the children of Israel, and I'm telling you, you have to come back to your homeland, here to Zion, to Jerusalem, because as the Gentiles, we do need you. We need you to come and pray, because you are our saviors. You're the one that was chosen by Yahweh to live in this land, not the Jewish people, it's you. You were stolen from Africa, they deceived you, they told you that you are slaves, but you actually the children of Israel. And it's time just to come back. Come for your people, come back for us, come back for the whole Gentiles, because only you gonna save us. So please come back to Zion.
My Lord is waiting with open arms. Oh, freedom. Won't wait till my people are free. We cry freedom.